Hello everyone, welcome to the Storyist. They say that you can have as many friends as you want, but you can only determine who among them are true in times of danger. Today, I'll be sharing with you a story about a girl who learns this lesson about friendship when her wicked friend lets a guy take advantage of her in a club. Stay until the end of the video to see the shocking ending. Avery and Dakota have been friends for almost 15 years now. In fact, they consider each other as their own best friends. Avery and Dakota were 3 years old when they first met at a playground. Turns out their parents were also long-lost best friends when they were in high school. So, when they reconnected once at that very same playground, they never separated from each other again. The result of this for Avery and Dakota? They were around each other all the time. Avery and Dakota grew up together. Since that reconnection at the playground, Dakota's parents moved to the vacant lot next to Avery's family home, so they only played with each other. Since they were in the same neighborhood, they also went to the same school together. They seemed inseparable growing up. Avery would take the same class as Dakota would and vice versa. They were always together in school, sitting beside each other in every single class, sitting side by side in the cafeteria, laughing at each other's jokes during physical education period, going to school together by bus, and walking back home. They enjoyed each other's company so much that they preferred walking back home so they could talk to each other about their day in the school, even though they had been together all day long. They would talk about their classmate cheering how she stole Avery's pencil the other day, or about Chris, who was the campus heartthrob. They will laugh about their math teacher because he created an equation so hard that even himself could not solve it. They would take turns in cracking corny jokes about how their classmate Mike farted so loud in class that day. There was endless threads of topics for the two to talk about, and that was what they loved about each other very much. They used to be inseparable. But then, high school came. Avery and Dakota enrolled in the same school, yet again because their mothers are best friends for life. But even though the two have grown up together, high school is a whole different arena. Each player can get unpredictable cards, and that's exactly what happened to Avery and Dakota. After the summer after their middle school, Dakota decided she didn't want to be just the girl sitting on benches during a football game anymore. She wanted to be the cheerleader that everybody was looking at. Meanwhile, Avery loved being the invisible girl. She hated attention and she loved reading in peace, curled up with a good book somewhere, trying to kill all the football noise down as she reads. In just one summer, the two best friends' interests changed, and their new likes became so far away, so different from each other. Because of that, their friendship has started to get strained as well. Dakota has started hanging out with the popular girls in their school, the cheerleaders to be specific. She has started dressing up like them too. Meanwhile, as Avery has no social interaction skills like Dakota, she has been left out without a friend. Dakota still considers Avery as her friend, but maybe not as her best friend anymore. From being together almost every hour, she only hangs out with Avery every time they were going to school or going home. And often, Dakota doesn't go home the same time as Avery. Avery will always go home as soon as the bell rings, but sometimes Dakota will wait for her new popular friends and they will go to someone's house to party. Since Avery is not into that kind of fun, she will always go home early. But on the day of her 18th birthday, Dakota surprisingly asks her to come to one of the new friends' parties. "Happy birthday, honey! I'm thinking if you can swing by Mark's party tonight, it will be lit," Dakota says, with a twinkle in her eyes. Dakota seems to really love this kind of life. That's why Avery does not say anything to her about it, even though she has been feeling left out lately. "Will there be booze?" Avery asks with genuine concern. Dakota laughs at her. "Of course, honey. What kind of party doesn't have booze?" Dakota sarcastically replies, to which one of her popular friends answers, "A lame one!" And they all laugh except for Avery. While still holding onto her books, Avery asks Dakota quietly, "But isn't that illegal? We're not even 21 yet," Avery says, shakingly. Dakota laughs at her once again. "It's only illegal if we get caught. Besides, don't be such a buzzkill. That's the reason they call you a nerd," she says to Avery, and drops all her books down. Shocked, Avery picks them up, but Dakota stops her. "Your friends are calling me a nerd, and you are letting them." Avery asks, but Dakota just shrugs at her and orders one of the school janitors to pick up Avery's books for her. "Tonight, he'll be one of us," Dakota whispers to Avery, and then she leaves. That night, Avery wears one of the best dresses she can wear. It's a laced turtleneck dress that flows beyond her knee. Despite covering a lot of skin, her figure is shown clearly, and she looks more of a woman than a high school girl. After a while, a loud beeping noise is heard outside her house. It is Dakota inside her friend's car. "Avery, let's go! We're gonna be late!" Dakota shouts from a distance. Avery runs towards the car, and as she opens and steps into the passenger seat, she sees a guy that looks unfamiliar. She halts for a moment when Dakota notices. "Oh, this is Carlos. He'll be your date tonight," Dakota says casually. Avery looks at her confused. "You didn't mention anything about a date," Avery mumbles, but Dakota just laughs at her from the front seat. As they arrive at the party, everyone is obviously having a good time. Dakota lets Avery sit in the one corner with Carlos, and then she leaves the party with her new friends. Avery knows Dakota will not entrust her with some dangerous stranger, so she just hopes that she won't be in any danger. But she's wrong. Carlos gets up to get drinks from the two of them. At that moment, Avery is already feeling a little nauseous with all the loud sound and dim lights. When Carlos gets back, she takes a sip of alcohol she's offered to. It is her first time drinking alcohol, and Dakota knows that, but she knows Dakota won't let her get drunk. However, after a few sips, she feels her surroundings going on in circles until she is blacked out. Carlos starts taking her clothes off and starts kissing her. Everybody else in the party is busy with their own company, so they don't notice Avery's situation. As Dakota comes by to see if Avery's doing fine, she sees Carlos kissing her on the neck. But instead of stopping him, she just looks at them and goes back to partying with her friends. The following morning, Avery wakes up in the house, wasted and without any clothes. She's only wearing her underwear, and she cries as she realizes what happened. She runs to her home and refuses to talk to anyone for weeks. She locks herself in her room and refuses to eat or go out. After a week, Dakota realizes that Avery hasn't gone to school for quite some time, and she goes to her house to ask what happened. Avery refuses to talk to her, and her own mother doesn't know why. But as her former best friend, she knows Avery more than anyone. She sneaks into her room's secret back door and she talks to Avery. Avery confesses that she found out that she's pregnant, and it's Carlos's child. She's blaming Dakota for everything. Dakota can't believe that the simple act of ignorance that she has done that night at the party has turned her best friend's life upside down. Avery hates Dakota, and she refuses to talk to her ever again. As Dakota goes back to school, everybody else is talking about her. Rumors say that she's a bad friend for letting Carlos take advantage of her own best friend. Because of these rumors, her popular friends have decided to ditch her. They can't risk hanging out with the talk of the town. Dakota has lost her best friend and her new friends. Just because of one mistake, she is left alone. She regrets leaving Avery in Carlos's care, but she can't do anything else. Dakota has never moved on from that mistake, and until she has grown old, she still bears this thorn in her chest she can never pull out. That is all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and we'll see you on the next.